Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. Just wanted to kick off the presentation with that awesome video, and we're super excited to be speaking with you all today. I'm going to go ahead and start us off, but my name is Madison Cerny. I am the LM Space high school and college intern program lead, and with me today, I have my wonderful teammates Albert and Robin as well, and we're going to be taking you through the presentation today. So just wanted to say hello. Thank you so much for joining us, and we're going to get started. So just to give a little bit background, if you're not already familiar, but we just wanted to say thank you as well for kind of joining in on our recent Tallow campaigns. We hope by this time you're familiar with Lockheed Martin and Lockheed Martin Space and the incredible work that we get to be a part of. If you are not, though, just wanted to show you this really cool slide. I thought the visuals were great. So just want to remind you, of course, that Lockheed Martin Space has built over 945 satellites to date. We are at 100% mission success within the last 13 years, which we love. We love showing that off. In the top right corner, we have supported every NASA mission to Mars. So we have been a part of some incredible findings. And overall, we have 180 plus successful Trident D5 missile testings. So again, really proud of the work that we get to do here. Again, we hope you're familiar with this and you've been staying up to date with us with Tallow in our recent campaigns, but just wanted to give a quick overview of everything here. And let me just make sure, seeing some comments. Exit out of the closed captioning of the books. Perfect. All right, let me know if that's a little better for everyone, but I'll kind of keep going here with the slides. And first of all, so today as well, we're here to talk about all of the early career pathways that are available here to early career students and members who are interested in Lockheed Martin Space. So I'm going to kick it off talking about our high school internship program. So a couple things I want to highlight here. We do have the ability to pay our high school interns, which is incredible. And you all would get to spend 9 weeks over the summer with us and getting to work on just really cool missions and mission success, as I've mentioned, and get to be a part of the summer experience. So what does that experience entail? We have projects that allow students to work on solving and deploying processes, procedures, and systems that help keep our customers safe. So just as any of our other college interns or folks that other internship programs you'll hear on the call today, our high school students are just as involved and engaged with those summer programmings and other additional resources and career development that you would be able to get to experience as a high school intern. For just some basic qualifications, so to be eligible for the high school internship program, you do have to be at least 16. So if you are not quite there yet, stay on the line, make sure you're connecting with us still, but you do have to be at least 16 years old to participate in our high school internship program by the time that it starts in the summer. I'll show you a little bit of a timeline here in my next slide, but some other basic qualifications. So you do have to live within a commutable distance of our participating Lockheed Martin Space facilities. This is because we didn't want, we're not going to be allowing our high school interns to be relocating, and we want to make it, an easy and commutable distance and experience for you or your family members who would be bringing you into the internship experience. You have to be currently enrolled in high school, and then of course, demonstrate a knowledge and interest in STEM fields and other organizations or, projects and things that you want to be getting and developing your hands on. So that is just a little sneak peek and quick view of our high school internship program. And then also wanted to highlight a program timeline. So here at LM Space, we follow on the academic year. So just as you all are getting ready to go back to school in August, we are gearing up already to be recruiting for summer 2023 here. So on my slides here for the timeline, there is going to be, as you can kind of see, this October-November's timeline is our kickoff season of when we're, going out to folks like yourselves, really promoting our different programs here at Lockheed Martin Space and getting you all excited to begin applying online. And within the early spring, so January, February timeframe, we partner directly with Tallo. So I am on Tallo's page, looking through all of your great profiles, sourcing folks for recs and open positions that I think you all would do well in. So just want to give a shout out here, obviously, to our Tallo partners and to you all, to reminder to keep and keep updated with your Tallo profile, because I may be in your inbox soon messaging you for further information and contact. So that is our first way of getting in touch with you. So definitely make sure to, continue to be updating your Tallo profile, checking your messages. That will be the direct first contact that I have with you if we are interested in moving forward in the internship positions. And then just wanted to highlight a little bit as well, the awesome things, like I kind of mentioned, you get to be a part of for our high school timeframe. We have over the summer, last summer we hosted over 50 plus summer events for our interns. So you got to be a part of career development, networking, executive chats, and really just getting to know what we do here at LM Space, being a part of a really cool mission, and also being able to connect with other interns and make some new friends along the way. And then as well, just wanted to give a quick peek. Again, our Tallo partners, we are so grateful for the partnership we have with them and getting you all here, on the platform and getting you signed up. However, we are not only as well the only company that uses Tallo. So again, really want to make sure you're updating your profile, checking your messages. There's a lot of different folks that could be reaching out to you. But just wanted to give you a quick glance, as well as Lockheed Martin Space not only partners with Tallo, but also community and national organizations. So again, we really love the partnership we have with Tallo, and excited to continue to show you all what could be in store for you. Next up, I'm going to just quickly talk about our college internship program. So I would say just a couple key differences here. To be a part of the college internship and to be considered a college intern, you have to be enrolled in a four-year university and attending to graduate with your bachelor's degree specifically. With a little bit of a difference between our high school and college, the college internship program, you are able to relocate. So you do have that opportunity if maybe right now you're not near one of our facilities for a high school internship program, but once you get into that college timeframe, all of our college job postings are posted online at our website, and those would be available for relocation, as I mentioned. And just again, as I mentioned as well, with our high school program, we create a really robust experience for you over the summer. You'd be networking, meeting your high school interns, meeting other college interns who traveled in from all across the country. We have our interns very widespread out, so it's a really great experience, as I mentioned, networking, career development, and all of that fun stuff. Alrighty, now I'm excited to pass it over to my colleague Albert to talk about our community college program.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Maddie. Hello, everyone. My name is Albert Chan, and I'm the Community College Program Lead. And I'm excited to let you know that Lockheed Martin Space offers a 2-year degree pathway as well. So students who are looking to get their 2-year associate degree, we have a spot for you. This is another great option that you can pursue. So at a high level, if you have a technical 2-year associate degree within STEM, or technical experience, or even technical certification, any one of these criterias or a combination of these, you would be eligible for community college STEM hiring. Now, keep in mind that these positions will not be geared towards bachelor degrees or master degree students, since this is really for our 2-year students. Now, within community college pathways, we have 4 different flavors, and you'll be working alongside with our engineers. So the first flavor, engineering aid, it's kind of like a technical generalist, almost like I like to look at it as almost like you're a Swiss Army knife. You kind of do a little bit of everything. And then the second flavor is programmer. This is more on the software side of the house. So you're doing a little bit more of the coding side, really staying within that software swim lane. And then designer and drafter, those are both very similar to each other, where you'll be using more of skills within Creo, AutoCAD, and SolidWorks. Now, keep in mind that these are full-time positions requiring you to work a full 40 hours a week. Now, what's great about this is that it offers a jumpstart to your technical career. It offers on-the-job experience, technical training, and mentoring. Now, we have hiring locations across the US. The top two major sites, Colorado, Pennsylvania, but we also have locations out in California, Washington, D.C. area, that's where I sit, Florida, New Mexico, and Texas. Now, we started this hiring initiative about 2 years ago, and we've had great hiring success. And I have to say that our hiring managers are really embracing this opportunity, and they want more two-year talent. Maddie, if you can advance over to the next slide, I would like to also share about the Software Associate Degree Program known as SWAP. This is a subset of the programmer flavor. So this is a 3-year development program to attract, develop, and retain cleared associate degree candidates within software. So if you take a look at this illustration, it goes in stages. Stage 1, that's the prerequisite. You got to be enrolled in a related engineering associate degree program in computer science, software engineering, programming, maybe even cyber. And then in stage 2, kind of a keep warm. So this is where you'll be sponsored for clearance within Lockheed Martin, and then finishing up your associate's degree. And then when you go over to stage 3, you'll participate in the program between 1 to 3 years. And then the last stage, you'll graduate from the program. Not only you will become a software engineer, but you'll have on-the-job training, technical development, mentoring, and enhanced tuition reimbursement. So guys, think about it. You're working in a diverse technical field with engineers, getting paid full time, and be able to tap into the tuition assistance to advance your education. Whoa, that sounds really awesome. Now, I would like to turn it over to Robin to share additional career pathways. Over to you, Robin.
Thank you, Albert. Gosh, you got me excited about that program. I love our internship opportunities and the SWAP program. I mean, there are just so many great opportunities, no matter where you're at whatever stage, whatever decisions, pathways you want to go. Lockheed has so many great opportunities for you. My name is Robin. I am with the AMTAP program, and we are another option for you to consider to have what I like to call an exciting career at space. So the AMTAP program is an apprenticeship program. It is an earn while you learn model, meaning that you are paid, you have full benefits. It is geared towards people after you have completed high school. So you do have to be a high school graduate. You have to be 18 years of age or older, or a GED. High school diploma or GED, either will work. And our program is really geared towards people, for those who have related skill sets, but not necessarily the experience in building spacecraft, because how many people graduating from high school have worked somewhere building spacecraft? But you may have been in the robotics club, you may have built computers, you might like to work with your hands and really put the things together. That is what we're looking for. So our apprenticeship program gives you all the training skills and certifications, or teaches you all the training skills and certifications that you need to be able to build our space hardware. So as I said, it does require a full-time commitment. You are in the classroom for 6 to 9 weeks, depending on our location. Our program varies depending on site. Our program operates in Colorado, Alabama, Pennsylvania, and California. We have cohorts all throughout the year. So we typically run about cohorts or classes. So we usually run about 5 classes at each site. That does depend on demand. So some locations might only have 2 classes a year. You can visit our website. It's at the bottom there, and I'll put it in the chat as well, where you can find the most up-to-date information on upcoming classes and opportunities, and an email address if you'd like to contact me personally and ask more information. This is a really great opportunity for people to gain entry into a STEM career without a 4-year degree. After completion of classroom training, you are offered or have the opportunity to be offered a full-time position. So this program, you come in with no experience but related skill sets. We train you on the certifications necessary to build hardware, and then you will be offered a full-time position on our manufacturing floor. Madison, if you could go to the next slide, please. So one of the first questions I always get, okay, what in the world does an advanced manufacturing technician apprentice do? So I like to say it is they build the heart and the brain of our spacecraft. So I'm sure a lot of you are familiar, if you rudimentary, if you look at the back of your computer and all the circuit boards that are in there. So we train our apprentices to actually assemble those circuit boards. Everything is done by, well, not everything, but most of it is done by hand. I like to say we don't build toasters, we build spacecraft. And so that requires very precision work and attention to detail. And if you see the gentleman here, you're working under a microscope and you're learning all the skills that you need to build what I call the brains. Then we have additional training, which is you build the heart, everything that transfers the data and information and the power everywhere. And those are your cable harness assemblies. And we build those by hand. We have huge models. Everything is made to order for that specific piece of equipment. And you can see some pictures on the left-hand side of the processes and what that looks like. So that is what this program trains you to do and certifies you to do. And then the program, that all of those wires, connections, circuit boards go into a box, and those go into all those wonderful things you see on the right-hand side of the screen. The InSight lander, GPS-3 satellites, our Orion project, you're building the hearts and the brains of space exploration. And like I like to say, your fingerprints will be in space one day. And I just love knowing that all of the apprentices who come through our program have had just these amazing experiences with careers in space. And I've actually been able to stand next to them as they have watched their satellites launch into space and look at me and go, my fingerprints are on their way into space right now. And this opportunity, you do not need a 4-year degree. You do not need to have previous job experience. You just need to have hand-eye coordination, love to build, follow direction, attention to detail, what we call related skill sets. So please check out our website if you're interested in more information about our program. We have a lot of opportunities coming available, and we actually have a couple of cohorts starting in mid-May. We timed it right after high school graduation. I would like to make a note and say that while you do need to be 18 of your years of age to work in this program, you can apply before you're 18. So as long as you've turned 18 by your first start date, then you're still able to apply.
Thank you, Robin.
Back over to you, Madison.
Yeah, thank you so much. And lastly, before we kind of get into Q&A, I know Alexa just put that in the chat, so make sure, y'all, if you have any questions for us, make sure you're putting in that Q&A box. We're going to have time at the end for you all, and we'll get to all of your questions and be able to chat a little bit more if there's anything specific you want to get into. Lastly, I do have the opportunity today to also introduce Jacob Collins. He is one of our current high school interns. So Jacob, thank you so much for joining us on today. I'll let you kind of introduce yourself if you want to go through kind of some of your questions, or maybe just share with some of the other students, what exciting things you've been working on, and what's your favorite thing about Lockheed Martin Space?
Yeah, of course. Thank you, Madison. Can you hear me all right? Perfect. Okay, so yeah, my name is Jacob Collins. Nice to meet you all. Right now, I'm a systems engineer and data analyst for Lockheed. I'm based out of Valley Forge, so I'm in PA. I came to this job after winning a competition. For you high schoolers out there, you might know of it. It's called Stellar Explorers. And that's a pretty, that's sort of like my foot into the door, because I met Mrs. Perez, who's a sort of a vice president for systems engineering at Lockheed Martin Space. So I sort of got my foot in the door there. And then after that, I sort of walked down the road of a summer internship. And during that time, I worked on a project, or sort of assisted on a project that Lockheed is sort of doing right now. And it's sort of like an offshoot of a bigger project, but it involves tracking satellites in space. So what my role has been in that job is just doing a lot of simulations. As maybe a program you might have heard before is called SDK. You can like track satellites and like model them, which is really cool. And then I also sort of work on the hardware side of things. So over my time at Lockheed, especially during the summer, I designed complex pieces of machinery, which were almost like little circuit boards that would go on a figurative satellite. So that's been my experience so far. A couple of months ago, I started going on to a part-time with Lockheed to continue working with my manager and also my coworker as well. His name's Connor, and we together have been working on a project that we haven't stopped since summer. So I can't say more good things about Lockheed. It absolutely changed my life, especially because you get paid. That's huge. Everybody likes to get paid. So I've been doing the things that I love that I was doing for free, just for fun outside of school, and I'm now doing it for a job. So I really couldn't be happier with it. And I absolutely love it. So if you have any questions, you can read my slides. There really isn't that much that I haven't talked about. I want to leave it up to questions from everybody. Whatever you want, shoot first. I'd love to answer your questions if you have any.
Thank you, Jacob. Yeah, we're excited you're on today, and I'm sure there will definitely be some questions for you. I think, Alexa, when you're ready, I definitely see some questions in the Q&A box, so we can go ahead and kick that off. But yeah, just let us know how we can help, and if anyone wants to go anything deeper.
Awesome. Oh my gosh, this has been so helpful already. And we, like y'all said, we have tons of questions in the Q&A and in the chat. So I see Robin is answering a few questions in the chat. So I'm going to go to the Q&A first. So the first question we have is from Alexander, and they're wondering, are there any virtual internships available for high school students? I would love to get involved, but unfortunately not located near any of the participating Lockheed Martin facilities.
Yeah, and so Jacob can probably speak to this a little bit too. Him in his pilot class, I will say we have started to open up the expansion of a virtual high school internship program. Jacob himself has been remote as well. So Jacob, if you want to touch on this a little bit, but we are starting to, look at those options. We really want to make sure though that, you still have a very engaging and robust internship experience. So again, my team's kind of working on some of those goodies, but I think definitely more to come. But Jacob, if you want to add anything from like a virtual perspective, I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Right. So I live in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and Valley Forge is sort of near King of Prussia Mall, which is near Philly. I personally have only met my managers once, but being able to in person communicate with them for like a big meeting we had at the end of our summer internship was pretty crucial. So that was pretty important to it. But other than that, I've been completely asynchronous from them. We meet once a week, every week, and then we tag up, and then we do our Connor and I do our work following that throughout the week. I'm not sure how it would work if you were always asynchronous. I had another friend who was also on my Stellar Explorers team who competed with me that was also asynchronous, but I don't think he ever met his manager. So maybe in the future, that's definitely a Madison question, but I'm as far as it goes on doing completely asynchronous, I don't see why you couldn't do it, but definitely talk to them.
Awesome. Thank you both, Madison and Jacob. Okay, so we have a couple questions about how they can kind of get in touch with y'all. What is the best way to kind of reach out to you? Is that through the website, or do you happen to have an email anyone would like to share?
Yeah, so I can start. I think Alexa will make sure the team has, we have a high school and college. I have resource email accounts that I check weekly. So I'll make sure that you and the team have that, and we can make sure folks have additional questions. And then I'll let Albert and Robin speak. I think there was some additional websites that you could go to for other information on there, but I'll let y'all cover that one.
Awesome. And two, we will grab those from Albert and Robin and share those out as well with the email addresses too. All right. So the next question is, as a high schooler, how can I know if or when Lockheed will be coming to my school? Do y'all do school visits?
Yeah, so it's a great question. So we're excited to be partnering, I feel like, with Tallo for these kind of scenarios, right? So we can reach so much of a broader community that we may not have been able to reach before. So from a high school perspective, if you're local, we do some partnerships and organization work. If you are not, like I said, we're excited to be partnering with Tallo like this so we can get you this kind of information. However, again, I'm searching through Tallo, looking all profiles, whether you're in the area or you're not. So just as I mentioned, another recommendation for your profiles to be up to date, making sure you're kind of staying up with that, checking your Tallo messages, because I could be trying to message you and get in touch. But directly right now, it kind of just depends if we have a partnership with your high school. Honestly, a lot of the high school stuff we do virtual like this. So it's not super, super common for us to be always on campus.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Madison. The next question we have is from Antonio, and they would like to know, how would we go about applying for the summer program?
Great question again. So for our high school program, again, the Tallo is our main platform. So I am the one who is sourcing, looking at all of our open positions, and specifically inviting candidates via Tallo Messenger. If you're interested in a college internship position, those are posted directly to our website. I'll go and grab the link, and you guys can kind of search through there as well. The college website as well, there has full Lockheed Martin and Lockheed Martin space information. So there's going to be information about Albert's program, Robert's program, everything robust is on that main page as well. So we'll make sure to get you guys that information as well.
Awesome. Thank you, Madison. All right. This next question I have is for Jacob, and Elisa wants to know, do you focus on the programming side or the more manual side? And have you helped in experimentation or more paperwork?
Sure. So I would say that when it comes to the software versus physical side of things, it's very much both. But the way that my friend and I, we've been really good friends. So when we both got the job together working on the same team, that was pretty helpful. But Connor did most of the software work on at least the device we were working on. And then I built the device itself. So, and I sort of designed it, using CAD and whatnot. And then he sort of put the code in. When it comes to doing sort of more other area things, I'm not completely sure. I don't know the whole category of all the internships you can get, but I'm sure there's more. There's other options if you're interested into other things besides coding or besides physical engineering. It's really up to you and your manager and however you guys tend to work that out and whatever you're interested in. But when it comes to the whole who's doing what part, I think being sort of a master of all trades is super important. Being able to work on a spreadsheet to budget something is just as important as being able to put pen to paper to design something. So if I were you, I would be definitely interested in all realms of it, if that makes sense.
It does. Thank you so much, Jacob. That's awesome. Okay, the next question we have is from Emily, and they want to know, what classes do you recommend taking in high school to prepare for a STEM career? That's kind of a tough one.
Yeah, Robin or Albert, y'all want to share like anything from your perspective that you've seen maybe from, folks coming out of college, maybe to start on your side?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can certainly take a stab at this. From what I see, what really goes a long way is getting into groups. You know, of course, you'll take classes that are technical, but you know, joining a group or participating in some type of challenge goes a long way, because not only that you'll get to touch a little bit of, you know, your experience and learn a lot from that, but at the same time, you're learning from others as well and being able to work as a team. Because, you know, to build spacecrafts and design, you know, specific rockets, we're all working as a unit, like one village. And so if you can do a lot of group work, that's going to really shine through and translate over to the workforce really well. And then also, you know, there's a lot of focus with the technical stuff. From what I see too, we really value all the soft skills. So learning how to present, be able to communicate well, write well, you know, all of that is also really important when you're coming in too. So don't forget some of the soft stuff and all the other stuff that comes with that full package. I think that really stand out from my perspective. Thank you.
Albert, I think you made some great points there. So many people don't think about the importance of soft skills. They're like, I need this engineering class. I need these math classes. I need to have this curriculum, or I'm not going to get a job in this industry. And that isn't true. We base our selection 90% off of soft skills. Do you pay attention to details? Do you really care about the quality of your work? Do you work well with a team? I love how Albert said is, we don't do anything in silo. Even Jacob working remotely, he didn't do that in silo. We can't do what we do without being a team, and working together as a team is the most essential, I'd say, quality at Lockheed Martin Space, other than having a growth mindset. Continuous learner, always wanting to, why, the question why. A lot of people are always surprised when they work at Lockheed, and where you have to ask questions. The people who ask the questions and want to know the why are the ones who succeed and do great, because process changes, procedures change, but always wanting to know why never does. I would like to add on one of the areas in which, at least for our program, people coming out of high school, it helps is robotics clubs, or robotics, like the club, as Albert said, the working together as a team, but things that can really show that you are hand-eye coordinated and mechanically inclined.
That's awesome. Thank you both for sharing that. And I can say from Talo's collaboration with Lockheed Martin, they work so well as a team, and they just are amazing. So I just have to say, y'all are such a great example of teamwork. All right. The next question we have is from Casey, and they're asking, what type of network engineering jobs does Lockheed Martin have?
Sorry, folks, trying to get off mute here. Yeah, so I think kind of depending on the skill set, in case you may have to type in the chat for us if you're what kind of specifics you're looking for, I'm guessing, within networking job, but everything like I mentioned as well, and I'll go grab that link for y'all, that is available, and just other further information like I mentioned about Lockheed Martin Space, the work we do, the types of jobs we have, you're all going to be able to find that on our website. So I would really recommend kind of going through there, seeing what interests you, right? Like really getting to know, again, the work that we do and the business that we have, and then you'll be able to see if any of those interests do align with kind of what you're thinking or what you're looking to hope to do someday.
Awesome. Thank you, Madison. All right. Let's see what else we have in here. All right. One question is, I noticed that you were talking about a summer internship. For me, I live in Birmingham, Alabama, but wondering, does housing or any logistic things like that are available for those internships?
Yeah, so again, for our college internship positions, we have huge locations in Huntsville and Cortland. Business is booming out there, as we like to say, really growing those facilities. So I would absolutely recommend for college internship positions. Again, I'm going to throw the link in the chat right now. To go ahead and begin applying and looking online exactly of what we have in the Alabama area. We do offer relocation assistance if you kind of meet the characteristics and those qualifications to be eligible for relocation. And if you are, we do have that assistance for you, which is really great. And excited, to be able to allow students to get to travel and, have that opportunity with us if you're a college intern.
Awesome. Thank you, Madison. All right. The next question we have is from Israel, and they're wondering, I remember hearing you all saying you all worked on things with NASA, specifically the Mars mission. So I was thinking if maybe you all promote excelling engineers to NASA. That's kind of a tough question.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I know obviously NASA is one of our key partners in a lot of the work we do, right? So working as a team, we're going back to teamwork, right? And kind of the contract work out that we do to NASA as well. I think kind of the most apparent and relevant right now that I can think of, right, is our Orion spacecraft sitting on a NASA rocket and jet, hopefully waiting to launch here, hopefully within the next couple of weeks, fingers crossed. But again, yeah, I'll just mention our partnership there and really grateful to be, in partners with them. And yeah, so I think either way it works, we're all doing the same thing and working as a team to get the job done.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay. And then we have another one asking about the earning part-time positions through internship as a high school student. Can you maybe kind of share a little bit more about what y'all were talking about earlier about the program you have where you kind of earn as you go program?
Yeah, I'll start and then Jacob, you can jump in, but I think they're referencing. So Jacob started throughout his summer, right? This past summer between, I was thinking June and August or so, he was working on like a full-time basis because he wasn't in school. So you have a little bit more flexibility right throughout the summer to be earning a bit more hours with us, working on the team. But now Jacob and his team and students are back in high school. So what he meant, I think kind of by that part-time status is he now kind of drops his workload to just a few hours a week, but still gets to be a part of his team working on the projects like he's mentioned. And I can let you, Jacob, kind of talk a little bit how you do that and maybe balance school too. I think that would be some great advice for these folks.
Right. So I think the procedure for most of the high school students right now is that, if you were to get one of these positions at Lockheed, you would probably be starting in the summer. During that summer period, I would say that's like the most critical period, if you know what I mean. Make a great impression with your team, with your managers, develop your skills rapidly, and really try to just, as they were saying earlier, have an open mindset. You got to be able to learn. And then when it comes to what I'm doing now, I think I'm sort of on the tip of the spear as far as the part-time internship stuff. And that's sort of what I'm doing right now is limiting the pace of what we were doing during the summer just to a little bit during the school year. So I just do a couple hours a week, working on the same exact thing, but just not at the rigorous pace it was during the summer, if that makes sense. And then I think you were also talking about sort of earn as you go. As far as like what you get paid, it's by the hour. So you just put in your hours for the week, and that's what you end up getting paid.
Awesome. Thank you both. All right. We have one question that said, will this meeting be recorded? It is being recorded. We'll send this recording out via email, probably early next week. The next question is, how old do you have to be to get a high school internship?
Yeah, great question. So again, to be considered for a high school internship, you have to be at least 16 years old by the time you onboard. So right now is kind of our key recruiting experience and timeline, as I've mentioned. So if you're not 16 quite yet, but you plan to turn 16 by June 5th, you would qualify and be eligible. And we confirm those details with you as well if I'm, messaging you through Tallo or via email in the resource box. Like I said, we kind of check those boxes before you get going with the whole process and interviewing.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. How much knowledge should we have about tech for the high school internship over the summer? Do you kind of require any experience, or is it kind of, we know you're in high school and probably don't have the most work experience. So
Yeah, no, definitely. There's, we understand you're young, right? You guys are just getting in, learning your high school classes, really experiencing high school and getting to be a part of clubs, other extracurricular activities. So honestly, those are key things that we look for. You don't have to be, specifically in a bunch of tech classes or AP STEM classes, anything like that, just as long as you're kind of like a well-rounded individual, right? Of Albert and Robin mentioning a lot about teamwork. If you're a part of sports clubs, soccer teams, robotics, STEM, anything kind of related, but there's by no means do you have to have a ton of experience in a certain realm. We like to look for, an overall robust candidate who can be willing to learn and, excited just about the work we're doing.
awesome. Thank you, Madison. All right. McKenna wants to know, does Lockheed Martin or other companies prefer a mechanical engineering degree with a minor in aerospace, or just an aerospace engineering degree? They are applying to colleges currently and trying to figure out their career path.
Albert or Robin, do you want to take a stab at this one first?
Yeah, absolutely. So, wow, I see so many different diverse credentials, and Lockheed Martin is so big as a whole, not just space, but as a whole, that they're looking for all sorts of stuff. So I would ask, are you passionate about what you're majoring in? Because that passion is going to carry you all the way through. And so once you graduate and that passion is still there, someone's going to pick you up, AKA Lockheed Martin. So I recommend just finding what you're interested in that's going to carry you all the way through. And if you have that passion, that fire still with you, that's going to carry you a long way. So, ask yourself, does it make sense for me, to minor in this or just go with that? And I think that's something you have to ask yourself. And then take a look at the coursework too, in what you're doing. Sometimes you may not be interested in it and realize, hey, I might make a change. So you're going to continuously discover what you're interested in and what you're not as you go through the process within college. But at the same time, and just really look at what makes you get up and really do awesome stuff. And I think that passion is a good opportunity to start with and ask yourself that question.
All right. Thank you, Albert. And that kind of ties into another question that they were looking into colleges. And, they're asking, is there a better college to go to? And that's super helpful that y'all kind of look at everyone all around. All right. So the next question is, they just want to know, what is the time commitment again for the summer internships? Was it 9+ weeks? 9+ weeks.
Yeah. So I can touch. So that is kind of like the general time frame, right? We want to make sure you have the ability to kind of get in with us, get all up to speed, and then really be able to work on the fun stuff right throughout the summer. So usually with our high school folks, that 9 to 10 weeks is kind of the sweet spot that we usually recommend and work with our hiring leaders of. However, there's kind of positions here and there, or there's circumstances that come up. So we are pretty flexible, kind of just depends on the situation. But that's something definitely, when you get towards that and get down the road, you can work with, our hiring team and your hiring leader to kind of establish what that really looks like for your experience.
Awesome. Thank you, Madison. And then one more question from Ryla. They want to know, what is the earliest we can apply for an apprenticeship in college? Is there a minimum? Do you have to be a freshman or a sophomore, or is there no minimum?
And so specifically for our college interns, there's no minimum. You can, apply as a freshman, as a sophomore, junior, senior. There's no specifics to, the time frame or the timeline of when you should or shouldn't be applying.
Awesome. Thank you for that. And the last question I want to ask is a personal question. And I want to know what is the last piece of advice or any kind of tips you'd like to leave our attendees with today?
Who wants to start?
Yeah, I'll start off there. I heard a lot of questions and regarding what should I do? What should I study? What path should I take? And, there are so many paths. And I love what Albert said about where is your passion? What are you passionate about? Because that is what's going to fuel you. And passion cannot be hidden. When you're interviewing, whatever you decide to do and you put your passion behind it, it's going to show in your work, in your personality, and the things that you do. And that will get you farther than you will ever know. I would like to say a little side note in that some of these opportunities that we've presented here today will allow for you to gain insight into the type of careers that are at Lockheed Martin that may help you in making decisions on where you want your education to go. And Lockheed Martin has an amazing tuition reimbursement program. We all know college is very expensive. And so Albert's program, Madison, your all of them kind of give you a chance to come in and get some experience to see what's out there before making those decisions on where you want to spend your next 4-8 years of school, however long it takes you, and tailor that so it'll help you make that decision.
Wow, that was excellent, Robin. I have to piggyback on that, and also thank you for having us and joining us today. The question about, hey, what's the pathway from Lockheed to NASA? And I would have to say that Lockheed is so big with so many opportunities that whatever you're looking for that's out there, we have it. It's just a matter of networking and building connections and building your experience, trying new things. We have that pathway. And so, like Robin said, whatever pathway you decide to take, you got to ask yourself what's best for with you within your environment and with your capacity. Whichever step you take, growth is always going to be there with Lockheed. And I've seen students come in as engineering aides. They're working within the SWAT program to build their experience and then eventually get their bachelor's degree, become engineers. And then with tuition reimbursements, they're working towards their master's. And then that opens up the door. And then also with Lockheed sponsoring, clearances, that's a gold nugget in your pocket, which opens up more doors. So then now you have the ability to work on classified stuff and unclassified stuff. And it's just remarkable. So I also want to say that, look for a company that fits your culture in terms of work-life balance. There's a lot of companies out there that that's going to pay you a lot of money, but at the same time, they're going to ask for a lot from you. And so you want to make sure that you're with a company that will take care of you, that there's, personal development, professional development. You're with a team that's family oriented and, really look out for you to make sure that you succeed through life and your career. So that's my 2 cents that I want to leave for tonight. Thank you.
Jacob, did you want to share anything from your perspective?
Sure. So I think overall, and I think a common theme of this meeting for sure, as far as what you want to be able to do and what skills you should have, I would say that the number one thing is just be flexible. And we talked about this earlier as well, but just to reiterate how important it is, I said earlier that it was just as important as to be able to write a budget in Excel as it is to be able to do all the math to make a computer. You know what I mean? It's so crucial to be able to learn, to have that open mindset that I was talking about, that we were all talking about when it comes to being at Lockheed and being an effective employee. It's so crucial that you always have the ability to go talk to your managers and they can teach you to do something. I would say 80% of the time I'm using skills and knowledge that I learned from my managers, not even the knowledge that I learned on my own doing classwork and whatnot. So although the classwork is super critical, I think just being able to learn and being able to do even like some of the more off-topic things that you like maybe in school and you won't think about, like public speaking. You might think that, oh, what do I need public speaking to be a aerospace engineer for? But you absolutely do need it. Being able to talk to your ideas is just as important as being able to make the ideas themselves. So I think that's my 2 cents on what I would leave you with as far as just good general information to have.
Thank you. Yeah, Jacob, we're getting all your presentation skills out of the way here now, aren't we? Here with us tonight. But yeah, I mean, I echo everything, everyone has ever said. I think my last thing too is just realizing you all being here today, you are young and you're excited already, just knowing that you are on the right path and super excited to still be interested in a part of something like Lockheed Martin is huge. So just want to congratulate you all, honestly, for being here, following along with us. It's a huge step in the right direction. And like I said, as you've seen tonight, we have so many different pathways and opportunities. So just be patient, right? Good things will come. And, you guys are doing great and already, ahead of a lot of different folks here. So just want to congratulate you and thank you for, spending time with us and throughout the fall as well. If you've been following along on the whole campaign with Tallow, it's been super fun and we've all really enjoyed it. So just wanted to, put that out there. You guys will get there, and opportunities will come. We're sure of that.
Awesome. That was all so great and such a great way to end the workshop. I just want to say thank you so much to our speakers today, Robin, Albert, Madison, and Jacob. It has been such a pleasure hearing from y'all, and we're so glad and thankful that you took the time to join us and for sharing so much valuable information. So thank you again. And thank you to our attendees for joining us live today and for just participating and joining us. So the next step for y'all is to go on to Tallow to request the digital badge for today's workshop. This digital badge is called Trajectory Enabled. And as a reminder, if you've watched all 4 of the workshops and have all 4 of the corresponding digital badges, you are entered into the Career Launch Sweepstakes. And those prizes are a Microsoft Surface laptop, an Oculus VR headset, and a Raspberry Pi. The deadline to watch these workshops and request those digital badges is December 31st. So make sure you go ahead and watch those workshops and get those digital badges ASAP. If you have any questions, please email us at support@tallow.com. But thank you again for joining us and have a great evening. Bye.